Yo, yo, yo. Good day, everybody, and welcome back to ZA Ball. I am back with my man, John Morgan, again, who knows for more laughs. Looking forward to the weekend. We are going to be looking at United's game against Bournemouth away. And how are you doing, John, before we get into it?
Good, bro. Good. Excited for the weekend. Um, I don't want to be as optimistic as I usually am. I just want to win, and yeah. So I'm. It's weird. It's weird. I'm in this realistic frame of mind, which I'm normally not
Uh,
in, but I'm good.
what happened to you? Why are you feeling realistic rather than reckless today?
Nah, it's not. It's not a thing of reckless or realistic. Like I've realized, like this game, we expected to win, and whenever United is
Mhm.
expected to win, we don't win. And we find a way to mess it up. So I'm in that kind of mood.
So,
I mean,
so what are you trying to do? Like reverse juge? Is that what you're trying to do?
I don't believe in chooch, to be fair, but nah, I
Uh,
just because I think look, we have Aston Villa that's playing Arsenal, so we kind of know
mm.
where that result's gonna go. But in essence, we do need to win our games. We definitely need to win our games um when it comes to the Premier League if we want to salvage anything from the season. So yeah, so that's the kind of frame of mind I'm in at the moment.
Yeah, well, speaking of Bournemouth and United, the last time the two teams met, we obviously lost 3-0 to them at home, which was, I think, the first win for Bournemouth at Old Trafford. So, looking forward to this weekend's game, what can we learn from the last game we played against them to try and avoid a similar outcome? Obviously, we don't have a lot of games left if we're trying to make Champions League football, let alone Europe. So, we can't afford to drop any points. So, yeah, what do you think we can do differently?
Yeah, so from my perspective, the reason why we didn't win is because we didn't create good enough chances. And our final ball, our play in the final third wasn't good enough. So if if we can fix that, and one of the biggest problems that we've had this season continuously when it comes to your Brentfords, when it comes to your Bournemouth at home and your Crystal Palace, these games oftentimes the players don't show up and there's a lack of intensity. All right.
Mm,
So if we want to win this game, we have to come out with intensity. We have to come out good on the ball. We have to make sure that we win our 50-50 duels and then we build from there. All right.
mm,
No game is a given in the Premier League. All right.
yeah.
Unless you City or at Arsenal at the moment because Arsenal's doing well. But you have to kind of understand that you need to earn the right to play. And oftentimes this season, when we've been confident, when we've been complacent, we haven't earned the right to play, and the team that we're playing against takes advantage of that. All right. So that's how I that's what I'm taking from the game before. Because if you look at it from the game before, all they did was they put us under pressure and they got
Mhm.
early goal. Once they get the early goal, now the impetus is on us. As soon as the impetus is on us, we have to take more risks. And if you take more risks, you become more open. So, and that's what we need to kind of fix in a sense. Not give them anything, not allow them anything easily. All right. I
Yes,
see here
yeah.
Kenny saying a draw will be my realistic outcome for the Bournemouth game. Hope they prove me wrong. No, Kenny, I think you will definitely be proved wrong. I can't have that energy right here, right now. Please remove that from the screen. I will not have that energy here because I do think we can win. Honestly, I do think we can win because for me, this is the growing pains that I think we are going through as a team. The growing pains of mentally showing up the night before, mentally showing up before the game, coming to your understanding that you need to play a football match now, and once you come to that understanding, um you can then prove what you are basically. Because we know Bruno Fernandes is a good player. We know Marcus Rashford's a good player. All right. On the thumbnail, we have Wally Kampuala, Kobe Mainu, Cornecho. We know we have good players. We have good young players. But it comes down to the basics and the fundamentals of football. And the fundamentals of football is making sure we do the basics first. We run, we pass, we track our man, we win our 50-50 tackles, and we do what we need to do um, in the game, right?
Yep.
Bournemouth have
Yep.
won 3 out of their last 5 games so far. Kenny, I don't care about Bournemouth, honestly. I do not care about Bournemouth, Kenny fan TV.
So what are you
Bournemouth
saying that
is
form
Bournemouth.
doesn't matter? Because what Kenny's basically saying is that coming into this, they're in better form than we are, which is
Bro,
technically true.
when it comes to United, form doesn't. I don't care about form because we can go and we can beat Liverpool in the FA Cup 4-3 and we can go on the hype train. And our next game against Brentford. Now I know there was an international break in between, but literally our next game against Brentford, we were poor. We couldn't make attacking runs. We couldn't make forward passes. We weren't good enough on the day, and that's been our season. So when it comes to form, you can be the best team in the world, all right? Man United can beat you on their day. The problem is you can be the worst team in the world as well, and you can win Man United because it all depends on how they show up. And that's what I'm saying.
So, looking back at the game against Bournemouth at Old Trafford, like you said, a lot of the key things that maybe let us down was the lack of intensity in the game. But even if you look at a lot of the goals that we scored in that game, defending was all over the place. It was shambolic. I mean, with the first goal from Solanke, three guys in the box defending, but none of them on Solanke. That's really unacceptable. And then the next two goals, it's two free headers, one from a set piece yet again. So I think this is some of the mistakes that we need to be cutting out. We need to be defensively solid going into this game. We need to pick a shape, because if we're going to be playing half up, half down, like we have been for the most part of the season, we're gonna still see those gaps showing up in midfield, which ultimately will then lead to the defense being drawn out and maybe history repeating itself. But like you, I don't think Bournemouth will just get away with what they got away with at Old Trafford. I think in the business end of the season, when the pressure's on, whether it's at the bottom of the table or at the top, things can look very differently. And we can take some positives, even though we didn't take maximum points in the last few games, besides maybe Brentford, because we played really well against Chelsea. I just think the refereeing in that game was horrific. We definitely played really well against Liverpool, and we just need to carry that into this. We don't lose that intensity, like you're saying,
Mm.
that sense of purpose that from minute one, because we need to stop the whole going behind and then only playing football type of mentality. So I definitely agree with you in that. I think United will win. I don't know if it'll be a comfortable win. I don't think a draw is acceptable. I know the title says, "Can we redeem ourselves?" It's almost more of a we have to redeem ourselves, if you get what I mean,
Mm.
John, because we have to get maximum points this weekend. Um, with that being
Yeah, and
said,
I agree. I agree with that. And at the end of the day, sorry to cut you off, but
sure, no problem.
that's what it's about right now, right? You said it. It's the business end of the season. Squeaky bum time. I don't care how you play. Kind of like the Bournemouth, the Brentford result. And I was this morning. I was doing my thing. I was busy here at home, and I was thinking, if we win that Brentford game horribly, we win the game and we keep the lead. We don't concede that horrible goal in the end. All right.
Mhm.
And we don't draw. We win it. We get 3 points. I honestly see us winning compared to how we played against Chelsea, win against Chelsea, and compared to play how we played against Liverpool, win against Liverpool. And now all of a sudden you have 9 points rather than two. All right. And the conversation is then different. But the problem is that in key moments, our big players don't step up. Right? I've been
Yeah.
thinking about Bruno Fernandes recently, and I've been thinking, like, is the criticism of him warranted? Right? And I had to concede, yes, it currently is, because he is the main guy. If you ask him, and not if you ask him, but if you ask any fan who is the main players, he will come up as one of the main players because he's been here for quite some time. He's proven he can do well. He does produce quality on the ball, and there's times where he doesn't produce quality on the ball. But he is one of our main players. All right, Bruno Fernandes always starts and is our captain. So the thing is, right, when it comes to this game, we need our big players now to finally, we've been saying this all season, but we find that we need our big players to finally come to the fore and come to the show and put their hand up so that we can salvage something from the season, right? Because like
Yeah.
Kenny says our next three fixtures is winnable. 100% correct. If we look at if we look at our next game, Bournemouth, right? Quality win. Then we got
Yes.
Coventry in the cup. That's fine. We don't have to worry about Coventry, right? Then I think we got
Okay.
Sheffield United. Now I'm
Yeah.
talking about Premier League, man. I mean Premier League. So because we're
Okay.
talking
Okay.
about Premier League
Okay.
specifically, yeah.
I
So
thought maybe you were just being overly confident, but go away. Carry
now,
on,
when
man.
it
Go
comes to
ahead.
that game, I am overly confident. No chance we can lose that game. No chance we can lose that game, bro. But just hear me.
Mm.
Bournemouth, we need to win, all right? If we win Bournemouth,
Yes.
we play Sheffield United and we play Burnley, all right?
Yes.
Those three fixtures, if those three fixtures can give us 9 points, all right? The other teams above us, because we're not going to look below, but the other teams above us, all right? Now it's a different conversation because Aston Villa have Arsenal next, all right?
Yes.
Spurs
Yes.
is not Spurs can't win the next few games, all right?
Yeah, they've got
I
a
don't know who they
ton
play.
of yeah, they've got a
Yeah.
ton run of fixtures. Yeah.
So now, if Spurs don't pick up any points and we pick up 9 points, now it becomes a 2 point conversation. Bearing in mind, we have um Palace after that, all right? Or I think,
Hmm.
let me just check. Yeah. So it's Sheffield United, Burnley, and Palace, all right? So Bournemouth, Sheffield United, Burnley, Palace. That is 12 points, all right?
Oh, so we're getting all
Now,
12 points, is what you're saying?
I'm saying it's winnable fixtures, all right?
Okay. Okay. I just want to make
So
sure.
if we if we and but now if we look at Spurs' next few fixtures, okay, now I'm having the conversation about top five, and I didn't want to, but here we are. But so if we look at Spurs' next few fixtures, they have Newcastle away on Saturday, 1:30 kickoff, okay, or 12:30
Yes.
in
That's all.
UK, but 1:30
Yeah.
our time, all right. Then they have Arsenal at home, all right. Then they have
Yeah.
Chelsea away, and then they have
Yeah.
Liverpool away. Right? Those four
Yeah.
fixtures, if they pick up 0 points and we pick up 12, we are above them and we are in the top four. Then it's on us, right? It then will become on
Yeah.
us to win Arsenal, Newcastle, and Brighton. And that is where we're going to need to show our bottle. That's when the season
No.
is going to be proven. Because right now, right? Just think
Yeah.
about this. Right now, we have a moment where we haven't been playing well. All right. Things
Yes.
hasn't been going our way. But now, if you take our next four fixtures, besides the
Yeah.
commentary fixture, because we're gonna have a game in hand, because this is over 5 weeks now, and we're gonna have a game in hand for Coventry, because we're gonna play Coventry. Um over the next 5 weeks, we're gonna play four, and
They'll play.
Tottenham
They'll
is
they'll
going to play
play
five.
an additional fixture. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if they don't pick up any points in those five fixtures, Vegeta Sama,
Yeah. Mm.
it's peak. It's gonna be peak. Because then you're gonna have to ask them. Then you're gonna have to ask them to make top four with 66 points. Because they're currently on 60. Because I think they can win
Yes.
they can win Burnley, and I think they can definitely win Burnley. Um and they can definitely win Sheffield United. All right, they can definitely
Yeah.
win Burnley and they can definitely win Sheffield United. Right, because the second last fixture is City, their last fixture is Sheffield United, and the third last fixture is Burnley. So I think out of those last seven fixtures, they pick up 6 points. All right, realistically. Now we know
Okay.
football isn't like that, but realistically we can determine from a realistic perspective, unless they do something good, we can expect them to drop points, right? If we pick up 12 points in our next four fixtures and they pick up zero in the next five, bro, bro, that's crazy.
Then we're back
That's
in it.
crazy.
You're saying. Yeah, I was about to actually
Yeah.
bring this comment up. Brandon Lee doesn't seem to have the same optimism as you do, saying that nothing left in the players' tanks. They don't even realize that they are useless. Jeez, strong words from Brandon Lee. Strong words from
Strong
Brandon Lee, right?
words. Strong words. That is true though. Like, I mean, as a fan, I kind of understand where he's coming from because, like, oftentimes we don't realize how bad we've been this season. Brentford, um, Palace, Bournemouth. I mean, the list goes on as to how many times we've been poor. So, um, sorry about that. But yeah,
Sorry,
so
go
we,
ahead.
yeah, so I understand where he's coming from. Um,
What are you seeing now?
no, it was just funny, bro. That is just super funny. Oh, anyway, go on.
I don't think anybody in life would admit to being useless. That's something like those are very, very strong words. And I'm gonna go back to what I've said all season. I don't think these players, not that they don't understand that they're useless, they're just really trying to play for the manager. They just lack the quality. I mean, if if you're bad, you're bad, you know. But at the
Yeah,
end of the day, it doesn't change the fact that they still need to do a job on the pitch, which I think between John and myself, I think we agree for once that the boys will do the job. Because, like you've said in the past, when push comes to shove, we have been able to, answer the call. Um, Coming back to the Bournemouth game, obviously we know that Bournemouth are probably going to employ the same tactics, try to, pressure us on the ball, try to beat us on the counter, maybe even utilizing the set piece, which has been our weaknesses this season. Who are some of the key players from Bournemouth do you believe that could hurt United on the weekend?
honestly, Rashford, Bruno, uh, um, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who else is there? Scott McTominay. Okay, but Scott McTominay is injured. Those are the players for Bournemouth that can hurt United. If you understand what I
Oh,
mean.
that is so salacious. Come on, John. I was
But I'm
referring to the
serious.
place they.
I'm serious, bro. Honestly, the players that can hurt that can hurt United is United's players. You need to understand this, bro. Honestly, you need to understand this. All right, Bournemouth team, they have players that has been good in moments this season. Tom Solanke is one, and I'll give him that. But if Bournemouth comes in and play well, and United comes in and play well, United wins 3-0. Simple as, bro. Simple as. You feel me? So I don't fear Bournemouth. I don't fear Bournemouth. I fear us.
I'm sure most of us felt that way when we were playing at home, but the outcome says otherwise.
Yeah, but it's for me. It's how the goals came in. The first goal, defensive. We lose the ball in our half, literally next to
Yes,
our box,
yes,
and if we lose the ball next to our box, you're in trouble. Regardless of what defensive shape you're in, regardless of what the manager told you to do, you can never lose the ball there. And we lost the ball there, and we conceded. And then again, I said, like, then our back is against the wall. Now all of a sudden, you can get a set piece, and they got set piece, and they scored. And they got another wicked. They scored a wicked third goal actually, to kill the game off. So, look, that game was kind of a weird one because we did work hard in that game. We did try, and I can't say the players down tools. They did try, but at the same time, at the end of the day, you want you want you want to give them the benefit of the doubt that they can pull through this time.
Okay, I know I asked you who are some of the key players from Bournemouth side, but who are some of the key players from our team that you feel could do a job for us and help carry this team over the line and get us that victory that we require on the I think the weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. So key players, the thumbnail. Our young players that's been coming through, they've been doing extremely well. Kobe Mainu, what a player. Let's just talk about Kobe Mainu quickly. If you
Sure.
think about his trajectory, right, and you think
Mm.
about where he's come from and what he's done since, I'm actually very impressed because you know what hype at United can do to players, right? You know
Yes.
what hype can do. Hype is crazy, right? So when it comes to hype, right? When it comes to hype, players can take that to the head and make themselves the best player in the head, and now all of a sudden they don't play the fixture, they play, huh, they play the game in the head, and
Yeah.
everything they do is great, and then they find themselves wanting. Then all of a sudden you can lose form. right? What I like about Kobe is that Kobe has been level-headed, but at the same time, Kobe has a manager that knows how to deal with good young players. Remember, Ten Hag had Frankie de Jong in the same kind of mold, right? So if Kobe listens to his manager, because we can all agree that Kobe has done well, but at times Kobe has found wanting. He has been found out because that, but that all comes down to his age. So
Mm,
for me, Kobe is one of the key players that we have. Alejandro Garnacho. Alejandro Garnacho for this season has been our most effective forward, right? And
yeah.
that says a lot when you have a player that scored 30 goals last season, right? In Marcus Rashford. And Marcus Rashford hasn't been doing near enough to what Garnacho is doing. All right. So for me, Garnacho is one of the key players, and I expect him. You see, he always kind of shows up in the games th- where you're wondering who can do it for us, and then he shows up. Like uh in the Everton game, brilliant bicycle kick. Right in the West Ham game, brilliant. Right against Arsenal with that offside, beautiful. I feel like he was so outdone by in that game, but he's been showing up constantly. Right, we have a crisis in centre back, and Willie Kambuala must come and play again. All right. Now it's going to be interesting because the the Liverpool game, you kind of know what you're going to get in a sense of you need to defend hard. You can't make a mistake. If you make a mistake, you work hard, and you need to do your best. And
Mm,
you're not gonna have the ball, so you're gonna be doing more defending than progressive play. Now I feel like in this game, he's going to have a lot more progressive passes expected from him. So that's going to be interesting to see. And if he comes through this game with the same praise in a sense of Willie Kampuala played well against Bournemouth away, I think we have a very good player on our hands. All right. I can't really say what his trajectory is because there hasn't been enough games to sample where he can what player he can become. Because I saw with with us we've had multiple players that have played like 5-10 games and they're not good enough. You remember Tyler Blackett and all of those.
yeah.
What's it, Bras?
Yeah.
Cameron Borthwick Jackson, all of those
Yep.
weird players. So you wonder if you wonder you wonder if it's gonna be another case like that, or if it's gonna actually if we're actually gonna do well.
No, definitely. And yeah, no, looking forward to the game on the weekend with Bournemouth. I hope the boys really do repay our faith in them, despite the season that we've had. It is crunch time. We do need Champions League football if we're going to have a good summer in terms of our recruitment, because, like we've said in our past stream, it's going to be very hard for us to get rid of people this summer. So we do need that extra injection of money that we get from European football. So hopefully the boys will be locked in. Hopefully Ten Hag doesn't have to wait until the half time to kick them up the bottom, that they from minute one get to it, and yeah, we win that game. Uh, just looking at our other fixtures that to quote unquote affect our fixture, John. We look
Mm.
at like coming back to a team like Tottenham Hotspurs. They playing Newcastle away. It's not going to be an easy game by any means. How do you see a game like that going down? We obviously, it would be nice if they lost because that would work in our favor. Do you see this being another win for Ange Postecoglou, or do you think Newcastle will just get the better of Tottenham?
It's difficult because Newcastle's that type of team that shows up one week and then the next week they don't show up because of many reasons. But Newcastle haven't been able to live up to the expectation of them. With them getting Champions League last season, a lot of people were expecting them to kick on and to kind of be there and thereabout again. Um, I don't think Spurs is good. That would be glorious. But I don't think Spurs is good in the sense of anything to be feared. It would be interesting to see how the game goes because Spurs has that surprise about him. They can pull off now a 4-0 against Aston Villa. Nobody saw that coming. All right. So
Hmm.
it's weird because you wonder, okay, what Spurs is going to show up in the sense of are they going to be able to play the way Ange wants him to play, or are they going to be Spurs? So I expect from an expectation point of view, Newcastle to win because Newcastle's at home. It's in James Park. They have players like I see Kenny saying a draw. That might be true, but I would really like to believe that Newcastle can win this game because if you ask me about Timo Werner and Brendan Johnson, not good enough for me for a top four. They shouldn't be playing Champions League, right? Um, if that quality of players is playing Champions League against, for example, Bayern Munich, then we know what's gonna happen, right? So
Correct. Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of hope that Newcastle can show up. Seeing that they are at home, seeing that they do have something to play for when it comes to maybe Europa League, and Conference League is a stretch. In a sense of nobody really wants to play Conference League, but everybody
Mm,
needs European money. So yeah, that can be a tricky one for Spurs. So I'm kind of expecting, or I'm hoping, let me say rather, I'm hoping for a Newcastle win, and hoping that they Spurs can take the first knock of a long
very
four
long
5 week
line of
process.
fixtures. Yeah. So looking at the team's form, they seem to have the same form coming into this game. Both have 3 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss. So, like you're saying, it's not a foregone conclusion. I personally think because of the way that both teams play their football, I can see a couple of goals being scored. So I can see like a 2-2 draw happening in this game. Um, I don't think it will be a straightforward win for anybody. Let me just put it that way. If somebody does win, I don't think it'll be a riot of 4-0, 3-0 type of a situation. But like you said, Newcastle are the home team. They've had a really bad season compared to last season. Um, so they do have to show up for their home fans. I think I think they've almost just come into the Champions League just to enjoy it, have the experience and just bowed out almost immediately out of the competition. But they're still a good team. They can still beat any team on their day, especially at home. So yeah, I think it'll still be a draw though. Those teams play way too expensive for there to not be goals conceded in their game. And then the other fixture that we want to be looking at is the Aston Villa fixture because they're also part of this race that we're in, and they're playing Arsenal, I believe.
Yeah,
That can be points dropped at the
for who?
Emirates for Aston Villa.
It's definitely points drop, bro. It's definitely points drop because okay, if if Arsenal lose that game against Bayern, we have a conversation. We can say,
Yeah.
okay, so what's the mentality going to be like? What is actually going to happen now in the next, in the next couple of weeks with regards to the league run, and can this affect him negatively going into a big fixture against Villa because Villa is in the top four or in the top five because top five is really Champions League. So then we can have the conversation. The problem is that they got that last goal, all right, kind of fueling their fire in the sense of, yeah, we are good enough, man. We didn't get banged 4-0, 5-0.
Mm.
So I think the way they're playing, and we have to be fair, the way Arsenal has been playing over the last couple of weeks, even against Bayern, although Bayern was at home, although Arsenal was at home, they were playing very well, all right? So
Mm.
from that point of view, from that perspective, you have to kind of concede that Arsenal is going to wipe the floor with him. They locked in. They look serious, bro. Honestly, they look serious. So Kenny Fan TV saying 2-1. I don't see Villa scoring because Arsenal has a very very good defense. So I don't see Villa scoring, but um, 2 goals is a good shout. So I'll maybe say 2-0, 2-0 to the Arsenal.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting game because, like you're saying, Arsenal aren't the same team that they were last year. They seem to be able to even go toe to toe with an old foe that has been a thorn in their sides. I mean, they really did show up against Bayern. People expecting them to get completely blown away because of the history between the two teams. But that only just proves that Arsenal are the real deal. That this isn't by coincidence the way they're playing, and I hate to say that as a United fan. And Villa are sort of in uncharted waters in the sense that I don't know when that was the last time they were competing for a European position. and they've got two other teams also competing for the same position in Spurs and United. And I think between the three of them, they're more likely to drop points for the rest of the season. They're more likely to succumb to the pressure, because Spurs has been here before. I remember when they were competing with Arsenal for the top four, and they were able to edge Arsenal out with Arsenal going into the Europa League. So if I had to pick a team to drop out of this race, it would be Aston Villa. Despite what people think about United, I do think we can try. Whether or not we get there, we can try. But coming back to the Villa Arsenal game, I think it'll. I don't think it's anywhere close. I think it'll be a 3-0 win to Arsenal, in my personal opinion. And Villa will drop more points, which will again draw them back and draw us back into this race and continue to give John the hope and believe that he has. I'm just vibing, guys. Personally, like I've always said to people, I'm gonna be a supporter this weekend. I'm gonna go support Manchester United. I'm not gonna bring my agendas to the game. I'm gonna hope that the boys do well, and I hope that United fans also turn up. We always speak about the players and the managers, and we always question them, but we also need to look at ourselves. Nothing is gonna change between now and the end of the season. What our job is to try and push these guys over the line. So I hope this coming Saturday we can at least agree on that and just be supporters of this team, because that's what these guys need more than anything else right now, to be in the right mindset. Uh,
Yeah, and at the end of the day, like if we kind of look at how the league has been going, you have a lot of teams that has been inconsistent. You have a lot of teams that will show up one week and the next week they are completely lost and they're completely poor again. So from that perspective, I mean, I, I don't blame anybody who thinks that we can still make Champions League. I mean, I think we can still make Champions League, but then again, I think we're gonna win the league next season. Uh, and I have reasons
John,
for that.
John,
But
John, stop
the
saying
thing
that.
is, though, is that like what I will continue saying it. Are you nuts? But oh, listen here, I have reasons, but I'm not going to get into that conversation right now. But what I'm saying is that there is people on both sides of the spectrum in a sense of disappointed, upset, angry at the team, angry at the manager because of results that hasn't gone our way, because of moments that has been really poor. And we can go back throughout the season and we can pick up those moments. But there's also the other side of the spectrum where you have to say, but we've played well in moments. We've played well against Liverpool twice, or let's say thrice. On
Mm,
the phenomenal wasn't that great, but in the FA Cup we played really well. We also played bad in that game. In the last fixture against Liverpool, we played bad, but then we played good. So there's kind of reasons to be optimistic, and there's also reasons to be pessimistic, right?
mm,
And I choose to sit on the optimistic side because oftentimes we have been ruled out and we've been doubted, and yeah, United is this, United is that, and fans has been opposition fans has been having a field day with us because literally one moment they expect us to be challenging for the top four, the next moment we can't even win a simple game at Brentford, who
mm,
is literally fifth from bottom. So from that side of things, I understand, but like I said again, I'll reiterate, we have reasons to be optimistic. Every team in this league has been inconsistent. And
mm.
Man United is the biggest club in the league, and that's why we are highlighted the most. All right. But if you look at throughout the season, you've had moments where Bournemouth is doing exceptionally well. They just lost to Luton last week. All right. So
Fair.
this is the type of league that we find ourselves in. And if we can, I've been saying this all season, and I feel like I should stop saying it, but it's still true. If we can find a run of games that's going to make us, or we can find consistency, and we can win the next 6 games, because I know it's Arsenal in there as well, and we need to win Arsenal. We can't let them in the league. If we can win our, say, our next four winnable games, right? And now
Yeah.
all of a sudden you come to that moment and you find yourself in the top five. You then give the impetus onto us to maintain the lead. Right? Now we have momentum. Now we can go into those games confident. Hopefully by that time we will have Lissandro Martinez back, and we've been waiting for Lissandro Martinez all season, and it feels like feels like he's never gonna come back, and every time he comes back, he just get injured again. So you
I
kind
was
of have
gonna
that
say,
traumatic
should
experience.
yeah, I was gonna say, should we not maybe let him fully recover, or at least get to
No,
fully recovered? Because I feel like we've maybe rushed him a little bit, and that's hurt him this season.
I don't think we have rushed him though, no? Because rushing him says that he for this is my perspective. I could be wrong, but rushing him says he should have been taken 6 weeks, but the 4 weeks is back. For me, in my opinion, that's rushing him. Where not only but also our medical team is so pathetic that they gave Lissandro Martinez a month after he got hurt against West Ham when that guy went to go lay on his leg.
Yeah,
And it
yeah, yeah.
was a month. It was a month when he came back. Literally, it was a month. So, um, I don't think he was rushed back. I just think he was very unlucky in the sense of he had that horrible injury when it came to his cruciates. It got expanded a bit. Wasn't broken, wasn't torn, wasn't nothing like that. And then when he came back, he wasn't ready because of muscles. So sorry. So I just think um it's it's fine to be optimistic, man. And I'll try and maintain my optimism. Try and maintain that we find ourselves in a very precarious position in the sense of it can go all down to hell, or we can pull ourselves up. And the question is, can we redeem ourselves? And I think I'll answer that yes, we can. Um, but the next couple of games, including Coventry, is important. And don't forget, in the beginning of the season, we've played
Yeah.
against these meaty teams, these mid table teams, and we got team of the month for it. We got manager of the month for it, and we got I think we got player of the month. Someone got player of the month
Yeah.
for that month. I think in November
Yes. Yes.
we
It
won
was
all
a
of our
manager
games.
and a player. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we won all our games. So I don't see why we can't win all of these winnable fixtures again. And if we can do that, we stand a really good chance.
No, you know what? I agree with you. I think the one thing we need to take from the last three fixtures is that, like I said, United didn't play badly, but we need to stop giving the ref an opportunity to make decisions, because one thing we've learned is that these refs are going to look for any reason to turn the game against United, for lack of a better word. So we shouldn't be giving them stupid fouls in the box to give them a decision to make. Keep playing the way we have, because clearly something Ten Hag is saying to them over these last two games between Chelsea and Liverpool. I don't know if it's because it's the occasion. I don't want to think it's because of the occasion, in which case then I'm worried. But I would like to think that something that the manager is saying seems to be getting through to these guys, because honestly, I didn't feel like we were going to lose in these last two games. It was just unfortunate circumstances that led to those chances being dropped. So with this game, we need to keep up that momentum, keep playing the same way, but be less open in the back and take our chances. I think that's another thing we need to do. People need to stop, drifting offside. People need to take the chances, because they're going to be far and few in between. And people need to start bringing Hoyland into the game a lot more. The kid can't keep feeding off scraps. He can't keep trying to create his
Mm,
own chances. The team needs to get more involved in getting Hoyland back into the game. Because if we have another game where Bruno is isolated, meaning we've got no creative outlet because our wingers aren't going to create chances, then it's a problem. And I think Ten Hag needs to keep putting his foot down, in the sense that Rashford, you don't start, bro, because you've not been good in these last few games, unfortunately. Anthony needs to be rewarded for some of the work that he's been doing, in my opinion, in these last few games. He's been really good for us. Garnacho has been a threat in a lot of our games recently. I mean, a lot of the fouls that we draw in this team are from Garnacho, so we need him to play. And of course, Kobe Mano. The only person I'm a little bit worried about in the center of midfield is Casemiro, because Casemiro is not doing the job we would expect him to be doing, but we don't have another player like Casemiro in the team. You get what I mean? Casemiro kind of has to be like the Declan Rice for Mano at the English team, in the sense that he should be able to allow the kid to go further forward so that he can impact the game. And we've seen what Kobe can do when he's playing higher up the pitch. I don't think he's meant to be playing in the back as deep as he's been playing. Um,
yeah,
and again, the fullbacks, guys, calm down. Delo, you've been playing well this season. Believe in yourself. You're a good player. You don't need to prove anything else. In fact, I believe you're the player of the season. Wan Bissaka, we just need you to hold the fort down. Unfortunately, we don't have anybody else, and I don't want to be seeing people like Amrabat in the flipping left wing, left backside. I don't want to see something like that. So unfortunately, we have to play a right back in. Yeah, no, definitely, Kenny. You're right. Casemiro is the weak link, but also Ten Hag needs to decide for these last few games. Are we going to press forward, or are we going to sit back and play in a defensive shape? Because we can't afford, in my opinion, because this is crunch time, to keep conceding, 20 chances. I know sometimes we say it doesn't matter because they don't go in. Well, unfortunately, they've gone in these games. So we just need to be compact, believe in ourselves. We can do this, United. Glory, glory, Man United. Come on, guys. We still believe in you. And like John said, I'm just a supporter. That's what I'm coming to do. I'm bringing the energy. So these guys need to match my intensity and belief, and also show it on the pitch. And as for Ten Hag, I'm not having that conversation anymore. I'm tired of the media. Give it a rest. Ineos hasn't said anything. If anything, if Ineos was gonna do something, they would have done it by now. Look at Myrtle. He's left recently. They've made his position very clear. That's the one thing that people don't seem to realize about Ineos. They don't dilly dally. They make their position clear. If they're going for somebody, they'll let us know. And if they don't want somebody else, he's gone. So the fact that Ten Hag
Yeah.
is still being allowed to do what he's doing, the fact that they're having talks with him and the players, tells me that we need to just focus on finishing strong this season. And you know what? I am
Mm,
glad that Sir Jim and his team are so decisive in what they're trying to bring, because it makes me hopeful and maybe optimistic for the summer. And I hope that this can be some good news for United, because I think sometimes we've got the tendency to want to be negative because of how the season has gone. This game is not a foregone conclusion, so we can't come into it defeated. We need to
mm,
come into this believing that we are who we are and we're gonna beat Bournemouth. So that's the one message I'll say to all United fans, is to say, leave the negativity at home, or leave the negativity in a corner at home, because we'll be watching our games from home, some of us, and just be a supporter. Show up, support these guys. I mean, I'm tired of the whole "I said so, I'm correct." It's not about that.
yeah.
It's about being a supporter.
100%. And I think fans, I've noticed this recently now, interacting with different people, that fans, they live off the opinion, in a sense of, if my opinion matters and my opinion is valid, and if I'm right, look at me. This is why I'm telling you I'm right. All right. And I think from that perspective, if you're going into a game supporting a team and now they prove you right, prove you wrong, now you have a different reason as to why they proved you wrong, but you were proved wrong. For example, there was a moment where somebody said that uh we will get finished against Liverpool, all right? And I asked, okay, but now, according to your reality, did you say the same thing before the FA Cup game? And they said, yes. So then I said, okay, so then you were proved wrong. And they said, no, it was a one-off game. Now I'm saying, okay, but now why is the mitigating circumstances, or why is the rebuttal that doesn't argue the point, rather than just saying, yeah, I got that one wrong. I've had some howler takes. Honestly, I've had poor takes. I said a couple of seasons ago that we're gonna win the league with Ollie, right?
Hey man, I'm the same person who said I'll take Potter over Ten Hag. So we've all been there.
Yeah,
That was a really, yeah.
yeah. And the thing is, as a fan, you allowed to have howlers, but to hold yourself to a standard where everything you say is not wrong is delusional. Literally
Yes.
delusional. You have to come to the understanding that some of your takes is wrong. If you say the manager is not good enough, that's your take. Alright? Here's the reason why I say the manager is good enough. And we can have a discussion, and we can have a debate, and we can say what we think. But at the end of the day, one of us is gonna be wrong. None of this, at the time I was saying it, I was right. No, bro. Because at the time you were saying it, I was coming with rebuttal, and I was saying, but bro, look at the mitigating reasons. Look at the why we've gone through this. Look at what's happened here. Look at what's happened there. Look at the decisions that gone against us. Look at the injuries. Look at all of these mitigating circumstances. And you saying at the time that Ten Hag is not the right guy says to me that he's the right guy sometimes and other times he's not, which is a problem. That's why I asked the question in on another platform. I asked, is the manager not good enough when he wins the trophy? The same way he's not good enough when he has many things not going his way and we can't see out leads. Is he not good enough in both incidences, yeah? Or is he only not good enough in one? And if he's only not good enough in one, then how can you flip flop? Because if he's not good enough here, he's not good enough there. It can't be
Well,
chalk
that's
and
just
cheese.
yeah, it has to suit the narrative at the end of the day, John, like you're saying. So, um, yeah, at the end of the day, people are gonna choose their agendas. But I think let's put that aside for the rest of the season. We're supporting this team. We predicted the Tottenham game as well as the Aston Villa game. Let's let's predict the United game for this weekend. I believe in United, and we've been scoring these recently. Just that, unfortunately, the refereeing has been what it's been in the Premier League. I see a
Yeah.
United win. I'm going to be very positive and say a 3-1 win to us.
Mm.
Because I don't think, as much as they beat us 3-0 at home, I don't think Bournemouth are as good as some people might set them out to be when they're doing their own previews around this game. So it's 3-1 from my side.
Yeah, for me, I don't see Bournemouth scoring. Um, because the last game they were very bad against Luton. It can be a 1-0 or it can be a 3-0. Just depends on what team shows up. So I'm gonna say 2-0. 2-0 United. We get an early goal and then we allow them, as we do always, we sit back and hit them on the counter and we get I love that, Kenny. Flip flopping at its finest. I love that. But for me, if we can score early goal and then sit back and hit them on the counter, I think we can hurt them because we have good enough players and we have a good team, good enough to dominate the game. So that's
Cool,
how I'm
man.
going.
Nah, nice one. For everybody watching, please like the video. If you are in the live chat, please drop your score predictions. If you're watching this after the live, please drop your predictions in the comment section and drop a like on the video. And if you haven't already, guys, please subscribe. We are trying to go on this journey with you guys. We are on the road to our first 100 subscribers. So if you want to come along with us on this ride, please do just click on the subscribe button. Um, yeah, man, looking forward to the weekend. I think it's going to be a good game. I think we're going to win, like we said. So yeah, let's look forward to that game. Looking forward to the press conference. I think tomorrow from Ten Hag.
Yeah,
Interesting to see what he has to say. If there's any
yeah,
updates on
because
any injuries.
yeah, I was about to say that now. Like, it's gonna be interesting to hear what he says about centre back situation.
Hmm.
I'm really interested to hear about that. According to what he said recently, he doesn't expect to have any new centre backs back, so that's a bit of a concern because at the moment we're down literally to the bare bones with. I don't know if you saw the bench we had on Sunday.
Yeah. I saw
Academy.
that.
It was literally academy kids. Um, on the bench. So yeah, that's gonna be a bit interesting. A bit worried because Harry Maguire hasn't been fit and constantly fit this season. So if he picks up another injury, we are then we it's finished. Then it's over. Literally, season's over,
Uh,
closed. In the season.
please, Lord,
Yeah,
don't let it happen.
facts.
Please, Lord.
That's a big issue. So yeah, press conference tomorrow. Are we gonna do a stream?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think
Okay.
let's let the presser happen, and then we'll respond. We'll react to some of the comments from the manager, and hopefully some good news, like my man John is saying. Sorry, because we can't afford any more people to get injured. I'd love
Yeah.
to see Mount Bruno. Oh, but who stays back, Kenny? That's my question. Because all of three of them, they're all effective up the field, not deep
Mm,
within the field. So you're creating a lot of imbalance. You're probably gonna leave a lot unless Kobe, because he's the youngest one in that team and is more likely to listen to instructions at this point in his life, sits deep and does his
mm.
best to try and cover the back line. I don't know. I don't know if I love that. midfield three.
But yeah, we
Yeah.
must see, man. I think they now will make the right decision there.
Yeah, definitely, man. But anyway, guys, we've come to the end of our stream. Can we redeem ourselves? John says yes. I say we definitely have to redeem ourselves. Three big points on the line. But yeah, no, it's been a great stream, guys. Thank you for joining us. And please be on the lookout for our stream tomorrow regarding the press conference. We'll be reacting to whatever Ten Hag says tomorrow. With that being said, I've been Vegeta Sama, and this is my man, John Morgan. Thank you very much, guys. Peace.